Hello again. Um, like I said, I was breaking this my part of my story about grief into sections. So I did a part about my mom. I did the part about losing my brother-in-law, George, and um, now I am going to discuss the most recent loss, and this one is pretty damn like a life story. Like again, my story's definitely woo, but in the moment I thought it was in a Lifetime movie when this is happening. But I'm gonna give you guys a little background before I get to losing my dad. His name was Curtis. So again, when it came to um me telling the story, I'm gonna say their names because again, my mom, she wants to call her name, and sorry about my neighbor's dog right now. The mailman is out. Um, so sorry if you got here barking. I am outside. I am a porch girl. I'm so sorry. You hear the birds. But again, my mom liked to be called her name. That's just something she liked. Um, and then also I was never actually around. Like my dad wasn't really in my life like that. And the only times my dad was literally in my life was it wasn't like significant, but he was like a drop-in type of person, like sadly. And I'm so sorry that y'all hear talking in the background. I do apologize. So sorry. But I'm gonna get this message out. I'm gonna get this part of my story out. Um, but when it came to my mom and my dad and hearing stories, excuse you, sorry y'all. But when it came to my Soul is my mom, her nickname, her real name Lovely. My dad, his name is Curtis. Was Curtis. So, um, Sewell and Curtis, I heard stories back in the day that they were, they both were alcoholics. They literally was drinking every day. I heard that literally when it came to that relationship, it was literally they was fighting each other. They was, very abusive to each other. Well, mostly him. To my mom, I'm hearing. So I just know that when I came in the picture, that I was born on Christmas, 1993, and I just know that when I came in the picture, either they was apart or not. I don't know, but I know I came in the picture and my mom had me, and I know that I had another man name as my last name, so I am a Watkins. And I got walk-ins from my second sister's dad because technically my mom was technically still married to him, but they were separate. Child, I don't know. That was back in the day. I don't know how that worked, but let's just say my second older sister, then my brother, then it was me. We all have different dads, by the way, four different dads. So yeah. Um, so yeah. So I was born, and when I was younger, like I remember he would come around, say hi, would do his little drop-ins. I have certain little memories of him taking me to his home, to his side of the family. It was like a cornfield. It was an old house. It had like a garden. It had like a old well thing. Um, So that's what I really remember from his side as a kid. But I also remember him coming by my mom's house, buying me a bike. And I was grateful for that because I love riding a bike. going on my bike as a kid and doing all the different tricks as a kid on the bike. So I was grateful for that. That was nice of him. Um, so I never had like a issue with him. I never had hatred towards him. Nothing like that. I knew of him. I just remember him as a kid. He would always ask me like, "Oh, you want to change your name? You want to change your name?" And I'm a kid like, my name is my name. I'm just like, huh? I was confused. So when I left Georgia, he didn't know of my leaving. This is what I'm thinking because again, he's not really in the picture and he doesn't know what's going on with me. And I'm reaching out to everyone in the neighborhood and trying to get help. And so when I leave, I didn't know that he knew and you know about what happened. So my sister stuck me in. Um, and I just know that over the years, my older sister, again, she didn't like him either. But I didn't understand. I mean, I thought it was because oh, he's the father. He's not picking up his responsibilities. I thought it was like for that reason. Um, but I guess there's other reasons behind it. So I just know that when my mom passed, I was yearning for another of my one of my other parents that brought me in this world, and I reached out to him. I was talking to him. He was telling me about that side of the family, telling me all about the our grandfather, his dad, his mom, and all that. And I'm just soaking this in as a kid. Again, I'm 13 years old, just lost my mom, and I'm reaching out to him just to see who he was. And I did see him when I went down in Georgia. I did see him. Um, but it upset my sister that I reached out to him, and I thought like, oh wow, I did something wrong by reaching out to him, and so it made her upset again. That was kind of like confirmation to me as a 13-year-old, like, oh, my sister really didn't want me to reach out to my mom or him, so that was like confirmation to me that like, oh, I gotta really respect you. I really gotta make that I have to express those feelings so that you know that I love you and I'm grateful for what you did for me. So that was my take on it. I don't know her side to be honest. Um, so I reached out. You know, it was cool. We didn't talk all the day. It was nothing like that. Um, it stopped because how I saw it react, how it made my sister feel. Um, then the next time that I talked to this man was I was about to graduate high school, and um, my older sister thought it would be a good idea to reach out to him and say, "Hey, ask him if he wants to come to your graduation." This is a real old Southern man, so I already knew the answer. Like Minty, I'm like, wait, you didn't want me to call him when I was younger, so why you want me to call him now? In my mind, I'm like, this is a mind game. And I'm gonna also be addressing certain things that I went through mentally with my sisters and stuff like that. Um, but I thought this was like a little game that she was playing, and I didn't think it was, fair. But I just went along with it because again, she's an adult. I'm, listening to her. But I didn't, again, listen to my brother-in-law as well. Don't take what, don't take it personal, but just know this is not about you. And that's literally what in that moment, me about to call him, that's what I thought about. And so I called him and said, hey, I'm graduating, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, okay, that's good to hear. And I would like to invite you to my graduation. And I'll be honest, I was thrown off of what this man said. He said, oh, a child's supposed to come see their parents. They got to come, see them. I was taken back by that because that was confusing because I'm a child. Even though I was graduating high school, I'm like, huh? But I didn't take it seriously. I wasn't even thinking about this man about when I was about to graduate high school. I wasn't thinking about him. It was just in that moment, whatever me and my sister was discussing brought him up, whatever. But I didn't take it personally. I wasn't mad that he said that. I was just like kind of thrown off about his about what he said. I was like, a child's supposed to come see the parent. I was like, what? All right, I don't know. Maybe one of them old Southern myths. I don't know. It didn't make no sense to me. But I hung up the phone. Wasn't sad, wasn't angry. I was just like, okay, I didn't really get the point of you wanting me to call him, but whatever. Moved on, graduated. Um, so yeah. Fast forward. Um, I do remember a part of my childhood. Well, one time when I was a child, I remember my dad, Curtis, child. Curtis came by and he did like a drop by, and he had this kid with him, like this tall, light skinned kid with him, and playing with my cousins in the yard, and I'm like, um, he's like, hey, come over here, and I was like, okay, and he's like, I want you to meet somebody, and I was like, okay, so I'm young. This again, I had to be before I was like 6 years old, something like that. And I'm like, oh, who's this? And he goes, oh, this is your brother. And I was like, oh, okay. And the exact words that I said, like, oh, he has green eyes. Because my dad has hazel eyes. Um, so he had green eyes. And I was like, oh, okay. So I ran over to my cousins, ran back over to my cousin. I was like, oh, that's my brother. He has green eyes. Went back to playing. Years went by. Years went by. I done heard through the grapevine that I have brothers, I have sisters by this man, and I only met one. And I always wanted to know who were my other siblings, because another thing when it comes to the South is some people marry their in-laws, and sorry, some people marry they family members, and I was not trying to be in that type of category. So I was very hesitant on dating Southern people when I came up north. um, I knew of his last name, but again, I'm not sure if the kids took on their mom's name. I wasn't sure. So fast forward to, I want to say this is actually in 2020, and literally, was it 2020? But yeah, okay, it was 2020 because I remember it was pandemic. Um, or it was 2021, one of those. And I remember I went over to my second older sister during winter. It was about to be my birthday, and or it was my birthday, one of those. And we were just talking about the family, and then you know it came about that I was like, I want to know who my brothers were. I want to know who my brothers are, and reach out to them and see who they are. So I ended up doing that, and I'm on Facebook trying to find my brothers, and I finally get to this one individual, and I'm like, I think that's him. And the only reason I knew that really was my brother was, sadly, and I'm sorry that they have this trait of this man, is his fingers. Because the way Curtis had his fingers set up was like they was like bear claws. And that's how I knew that was my brother. It was like they was round and like the nail curves over. It was weird. I just knew that was my brother. So I inboxed him, and like I think 2 days later yes, 2 days later he inboxed me because my birthday's on Christmas, and it was the 27th that he reached out, and he responded. And also that is also my other brother's birthday. So I'm like ecstatic, getting a message from my brother that this is him and we're reconnecting. So from, I think that was literally December 27th, 2021, I believe. So from then I found my brothers, and literally it's been like the greatest joy to find them. So then fast forward to, we still talk to this day. So fast forward, ooh, sorry, there's a bug. Ooh. Um, so fast forward to a couple of days later, I reach out and I'm trying to get my Curtis number to see how he's doing, because I haven't heard from him in years either, and I wanted to tell him that I found my brothers and everything. So I get his number and we're talking, and he's like, it was weird. Like, he literally was asking me. I'm sorry. My apologies, y'all. But my mouth's dry. But when I'm talking to him during that moment, it wasn't like, oh, I was yearning for a dad's love, or it was, I just honestly wanted to get to know who this man was and that side of the family, and to connect with my brothers now. And I just know that I would say probably for a whole year, I would check on him and everything, and I would, punk him to call his kids. Well, one of them, I was slowly getting him to call his kids and take better care of his health. I was starting to, do that from up here through the phone. So he would listen to me, and he would tell me things about the family, about who he was as a kid, and how he loved the women and stuff like that. And it was okay. Got to see. I kind of saw traits of him that I was a little bit in me, and now connecting things about my mom as a whole. I was like, okay. Then I want to say, during this time, I'm also going to church. I'm like, thinking about getting baptized. This is literally last year now, of 2021, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I met my brother in 2020. Sorry, my apology, guys. But yes, I literally wanted to get baptized, and I'm thinking about getting baptized. I'm getting closer, building a relationship with the Lord again, and I have my on and off with Him. I have a lot of questions that don't make sense to me when it comes to the Bible. And thank you, Stephanie, for helping me along the way. But during this time, I'm going to church, and um, I wanted to get baptized, and I set the date to be December 19th, and I get baptized, and I'm happy, very, just really grateful to get baptized for the first time in my life. And I had a weird feeling that whole day. And it looks like I'm going to break this up into sections too, because the next part that I'm about to say is very, whoa. But yeah, so I get baptized, and I'm feeling a certain way, and I just don't understand why I'm feeling this way. So um, I just remember I was like, I think, yeah, I was with someone, and I take a nap, and I just needed to rest, because that whole day, that morning was a long process of getting baptized, listening to the sermons, and just being there. It was a long, long process, um, but it was very blessing. But me getting baptized was very interesting, and this is how I knew that something was about to happen, because I was feeling some type of way. I didn't know what. I was feeling disturbed, but I didn't know why I was feeling disturbed. But like something was trying to tell me something, but I didn't understand. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna continue it in another video. So thank you guys for listening. I don't want to be super long, but thank you.